Hi, this is Packy McFarland, and this is We Are the Church, a ministry of encouragement brought to you Monday through Saturday by the First United Methodist Church in Orange, California. I hope you're having a good week, and let's get started. Do you ever feel like you might disappoint someone when you need to step away and find some rest? Unless you have things under control, disaster might strike. Honestly, I've tried to make lesson plans for life way too many times, thinking that my role was so important that if it couldn't be done by me, it might as well not get done. I have found in my own life of doing all things that when I am empty emotionally, spiritually, and physically, I really don't have much to offer anyway. Life moves at such a crazy pace sometimes, doesn't it? As much as I enjoy having my heart and soul deep into work, I have to remember that Jesus doesn't really need all my striving to accomplish His will. He can take care of all of our needs. How on earth do we rest? When the storms of life roll in, it's so hard to have faith in those moments, and we easily resort to fear. The Gospel books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke record the story of the disciples' experience being out in a boat with Jesus, whose nap time turned into a stormy panic. Let's look into the importance of rest, the temptation of fear instead of having faith, and the power of God that has the authority in our lives no matter what chaos surrounds us. When we find true rest in Jesus, we release control and turn our lives over to the one who calmed the waves. How often are you prioritizing taking time to rest? We should be taking time to rest and encourage others around us to do the same. The last thing I'm drawn to when the storms of life start rolling in is anything but sleep. I get distracted, I get busy, I get crazy. In today's passage, Jesus wasn't concerned one bit that a violent storm, not just an average storm, was upon them. Calm, cool, and confident, Jesus stayed asleep. As he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a violent storm arose in the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, but Jesus kept sleeping. The Greek words used in these verses to describe furious storm are translated as great earthquake or great turbulence, which makes the verse even more powerful. Don't you love how the scripture paints the picture for us? We can sense the stress surrounding Jesus, yet he's still asleep in the chaos. What was it about Jesus that allowed him such peace in the storm? Not only did he trust that God the Father would protect him, but he was God, and the same authority allowed Jesus to rest. Not only did he have power over sickness and disease and death, but over nature. I don't know about you, but Jesus resting when all the furious storms speak so powerfully to his divinity and authority over all things, including our personal storms. What would it take for you to rest in great turbulence, friend? Can Jesus be enough? Having big faith doesn't require doing more, but depending fully on who he is and believing that he really is who he said he was. Can you imagine the emotions and the adrenaline running through the veins of Jesus' followers as the storm raged and they felt out of control and in need of help? So the disciples came and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we're going to die." He said to them, "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" Then he got up and rebuked the wind and the sea, and there was a great calm. Do you see why these verses are so powerful? So much of the character of God is wrapped up in his words to his closest followers. To believe that Jesus was indeed God in the flesh meant that you would also believe that Jesus not only can perform miracles by the power of God, but also calm the forces of any storm. I wonder if Jesus was surprised by their lack of faith. These men were, after all, fishermen who had been through many storms on the Sea of Galilee. They watched storms roll in, rage, roll out, leaving high and choppy water for some time after. You see, not only did the wind and the waves obey and recognize the voice of Jesus, their Creator, but the sea went from violent to a complete standstill at his rebuke. This, no doubt, caused the man to stand in awe of who was with them in the boat. They believed in his divinity before, but this situation confirmed their belief. Just like the disciples, we've had our own moments of doubt, leading us to live in total fear instead of faith. What area in your life right now do you need help trusting and resting in Jesus? Even the closest followers of Jesus struggled. They had doubt, they experienced fear, they wrestled with belief. Isn't it comforting that we are not alone in this? We can rest because Jesus rests. The same authority that was his source of peace can also be ours. How? Take a look at who the disciples recognized in that moment when Jesus brought calmness to the waves and made it possible for him to sleep, even though it felt like an earthquake. Matthew records their total amazement, as they not only expressed a miracle being performed, bringing nature to a halt, but the characteristic that could only be supernatural. Even after all these men had witnessed, they still asked, "What kind of man is this?" Seriously. The guys who literally had a front row seat to the life of Jesus were still needing help in really seeing the full picture of who he was with clarity. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the sea obey him." Matthew 8:27. What a great question, though. He definitely was not operating as a man, but as God, who went on to demonstrate his authority in his death and resurrection. Jesus revealed himself to the disciples in a way that spoke to their hearts and rocking their faith once again. We can find other places in Scripture where Jesus demonstrates his divine nature, causing those in his presence to ask the same question as the disciples in the boat on the Sea of Galilee. Be encouraged. The Jesus that heals the sick, who needs rest like you and I, is the same Jesus that can calm the storms in our life and give us the rest we need. Then Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Now, go have a blessed day.